Welcome back to Dividend Obsession. My name is Troy. If you guys wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel really quick, when you're done subscribing, comment down below and let me know that you subscribed. 1, I'll comment back and personally thank you. And 2, I might include your comment in the next video.
Disclaimer, nothing in this video is to be taken as investing advice, as I am just a guy on YouTube.
Now let's get to the content. Today's video comes to us via suggestion by Dolphin Lover, who wanted to have more information on the Dividend Kings and the Dividend Aristocrats that I spoke about in a previous video. Building off of that, I thought it'd be a good idea to show the top 5 Dividend Kings that are beating the overall market in the last 25 plus years. So I'll not only show you what these companies have done with actual numbers, but I also want to show you what they've done with dividends reinvested and without dividends reinvested to show you guys the power of dividends. There will also be a little for fun segment at the end of the video, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that.
All of the info in this video has been pulled from dividendchannel.com.
So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to go in reverse order. It'll build some suspense for you guys. So we're going to go with the 5th best company in the Dividend Kings list that is beating the S&P 500. Company number 5 is American States Water, stock ticker AWR. All right, and you guys will see here on your screen that with dividends reinvested since August 1st of 1995, to March 9th of 2022, that's when I started researching this video, we are getting 14.03% average annualized return, while the S&P 500 is only getting a 9.77% annualized return. Next line we're going to focus on is the 3,192.21% total return, versus the S&P 500 1,095.14% total return. And you'll also notice here at the bottom of the screen that if you started with $10,000 invested in the S&P 500 and AWR as of August 1st, 1995, you would have totaled $329,578.17 in AWR stock, while you would have totaled only, air quotes around only, $119,605.95 in the S&P 500, and this is with your dividends reinvested. So now we're going to flip it over here to this next chart, and this is going to be the same stock over the same time, but without reinvesting dividends. So you're going to see here on the screen that we are now getting an 11.27 average annualized return, and the S&P is getting an 8.58% annualized return, because remember, the S&P 500 also pays dividends. And our total return drops from 3,100 to 1,614.61 total return, while the S&P's drops to 795.49%. And again, if you look here at the bottom of the screen, if you put $10,000 in AWR and the S&P 500 on August 1st of 1995, AWR would have you at $171,661.79, while the S&P would have you at $89,480.67. Again, this is without dividends reinvested. All right, and also what I wanted to do for you guys is I wanted to show you guys the difference in actual dollars between reinvesting the dividends and not reinvesting the dividends. So what the difference is $157,916.38. And that is just in capital gains only by reinvesting dividends. You're not adding any of your own money. The company is adding their own money, which keeps the snowball going. And just a little side cliff note here that I thought was pretty cool. If you held AWR with all these shares that you've accrued from investing in 1995 until now, you would have $5,596.25 per year in dividends for the year of 2022. All right, so going into our next one, the 4th best stock on the Dividend King list, we have Altria Group, Inc., and the stock ticker is MO. All right, so the first chart we're going to look at here, again, all the dates are consistent throughout this whole video, 8/1/95 to 3/9/22. We have a 14.6 average annualized return for Altria for 9.77. Again, it's the same for the S&P 500. We have a 3,666.28% total return, very good, compared to the 1,095.14 for the S&P 500. And here we go again. We have 10,000 in each, both starting on 8/1. We have $376,363.96 in Altria, and we would have $119,605.95 in the S&P 500 with the dividends reinvested. Now we're going to look at the flip side with this chart here. Same time frame, once again, we have 7.95% average annualized return for Altria, and we have 8.58% average annualized return for the S&P 500. You're going to notice a trend here. 666.02% total return for Altria, 795.49 for the S&P. And again, 10,000 in each, you would have 76,639.13 in Altria and 89,480.67 cents without dividends reinvested in the S&P 500. And you're going to notice that this stock was the fourth best performing stock on the King's list with the dividends reinvested. But if you did not reinvest those dividends, this stock actually would have underperformed the market in the same period of time. So we would have got 7.95% from Altria year over year versus 8.58% in the S&P 500 without reinvesting dividends for either. So that's kind of insane. And again, did the math for you guys. This is a difference between investing the dividends and not investing the dividends of $299,724.83 in capital gains just by reinvesting your dividends. And again, did the math. This one's kind of nuts. So Altria Group, if you had as many shares as we saw in the first chart in 2022, you would make $26,585.49 this year in dividends from Altria Group alone. All right, so number 3 on the list, we're getting into some familiar names here for you guys. Number 3 is Target Corp, stock ticker TGT. All right, so looking into this first chart, again, 8/195 to 3/9/22, we have a 16.17% average annualized return, 9.77 for S&P 500. We have a 5,310.34 total return to a 1,095.14% for S&P. And then with 10,000 in each, Target would have gotten you $540,663.23. While the S&P gets you, air quotes, only $119,605.95. This is again with dividends reinvested. And without the dividends reinvested, we have 14.73 average annualized return for Target, which is very, very good. 8.58 for S&P, also still really good. 3,779.21% total return for Target, and a 795.49% total return for the S&P. And 10,000 in each, Target will get you $387,896.64, while the S&P gets you $89,480.67 without the dividends reinvested. The difference here comes out to $152,766.59 in capital gains alone just by reinvesting dividends. And Target, if you would have bought in 1995 and the shares that you would have accrued now would have given you $9,017.24 per year in dividends for the calendar year of 2022. Continuing this trend with another familiar name and number 2 best performing stock out of the Dividend Kings, we get into Lowe's company, and this is stock ticker LOW. So diving in here on this chart, we have a 17.16% average annualized return, 9.77 S&P, 6,677.20% total return, 1095.14 for the S&P, and $10,000 in each, you would have $677,701.66 in the Lowe's company, with $119,605.95, same amount in the S&P with the dividends reinvested. Getting into this next chart, we're going to have the dividends not reinvested. So we have a 16.16% average annualized return versus 8.58 for S&P, 5,297.51 total return, 795.49 for S&P, and then 10K in each, you would have $539,425.59 in Lowe's and $89,480.67 in the S&P, again without the dividends reinvested. This is a difference of $138,276.07, again, in capital gains just by reinvesting dividends. This comes out to a total of $9,601.12 a year in dividends for 2022 if you would have bought 95 and held Lowe's the whole time. All right, and getting into the finale, the number one best performing stock on the Dividend Kings list is AbbVie Inc. Stock ticker ABBV. So, familiar format here. We're going to look at this chart. You'll notice that this start date is actually January 2nd of 2013. AbbVie was a spinoff from Abbott Laboratories, so the history only goes back to the spinoff date. They did keep the dividend history from when they were paying dividends as Abbott, but they started a new company, a spinoff, like I said, so some of the history does not carry over, and thus being the stock history because AbbVie didn't exist prior to 2013. So we're going to go from 1/2/2013 to 3/9/2022. The average annualized return for AbbVie is 21.99%, and during the S&P 500, during the same time period, is 14.50%. Very, very good. The total return for AbbVie is 521.01%, while the S&P is getting 246.96. And then with $10,000 investing in each, now keep in mind, this is a far shorter time period. We're no longer going from August 1st of 95. We're going of January 2nd of 2013. A lot of lost years in there. The total you would have is $62,086.96 for AbbVie and $34,690.05 in the S&P with dividends reinvested. Going into the next chart, we have, again, same time frame, January 2nd of 2013, March 9th of 2022. We have a 19.34% average annualized return for AbbVie, 13.57 for S&P, 407.29 total return for AbbVie, 221.97 for the S&P, and then 10K in each, you have $50,743.41 in AbbVie with $32,186.10 in S&P without the dividends reinvested. A little side note here is Abbott Labs, the spinoff company of AbbVie, is a dividend king, and it does beat the S&P 500. It is just not in the top 5 list, so I'm not talking about it here. Again, I did the math for you guys. The difference here, again, significantly smaller time frame, but it's already $11,343.55 in capital gains just by reinvesting dividends. And keep in mind, this is only in 9 years versus the other companies that are almost 27 years worth of history. And this will total, if you held AbbVie from 2013 to now, this would total you $2,353.23 a year in dividends for the calendar year of 2022. All right, and as I mentioned, I wanted to give you guys a little just for funsies section here. So 29 of the 41 dividend kings have outperformed the S&P 500 over the last 25 plus years, and this is 70.7%. So second side note here is if you happen to have $40,000 just laying around the house August 1st of 1995 and another $10,000 on January 2nd of 2013, and you put it in all 5 of these companies on that day, just reinvested your dividends and didn't look at it until the 9th of March, you would have a grand total of, ready for this? $1,986,393.98 in investments. That's a lot of money. You can have a couple stacks of $40,000 laying around with all that. And the last tidbit here is this amount of money, this 1.9 million, would have made you in 2022 $53,153.33 for the calendar year of 2022. So you're like, that's not a good ratio, right? 1.9 million makes you 53,000. Keep in mind, these are all dividend kings. So historically, they're going to keep raising their dividends. So you're going to get raises every year for doing nothing. And this is at least $53,153.33 year over year over year over year. And if you, I don't know, if you make that at 50 years old, you live to 90, Could you live off of $53,000 for the next 40 years without lifting a finger? And keeping in mind, that's probably more than likely going to go up because, again, we're pulling all this off of the Dividend Kings, and this is what they do. They raise their dividend. That's why they're on this list. So, all this for if you just had a measly $50,000 laying around 27 years ago, you'd be getting $53,000 a year every year. So I thought that was pretty cool. And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Be sure to like the channel if you learned something new or enjoy the content. Sub if you're new here. Comment down below that you did so I can personally thank you. Also, comment down below and let me know if you enjoyed today's video style, if any of these names surprised you, or if you have any suggestions for future videos. But until next time, see ya.